started the topic of mistakes, I was kind of overwhelmed by all the possibilities. And so, because like my life has been shaped by my fear of mistakes. I feel like every success and failure comes from a fear of mistakes. And that definitely related to my schoolwork. Like I was such a nerd. Like I would go after school every day to make sure that like they ran the Scantrons, like find out how much out of 50 I got right. And this was all because I had a goal and I wanted to go to NYU Film School. And like from a young age, I would grab my dad's like huge VHS-sized camera, like when I was like 5, and like put it on my shoulders and run around. And everyone would be filmed like from here down because I was 3 feet tall and it would be shaking like this. But yeah, I love movies and I love sci-fi and action because I love that you could just escape into another world. And I love Jurassic Park was like the first movie that I watched and I was like, I'm gonna make movies. And yeah, so I sort of, it was kind of an influence, like my dad was an influence and my grandma, believe it or not. My dad would show me like Indiana Jones and Star Wars. My grandma would make me watch like Saturday morning TV shows like Hercules and Mutant X and The Adventures of Sinbad. And yeah, like my first crush was Michael Biehn, who played Kyle Reese in the Terminator movie. I shortly moved on to Harrison Ford. But yeah, and I knew that I wanted to be a director because I would always tell my friends, like when we, like would play, I would make them reenact scenes from these movies. And I'd be like in Twister, at the end when Helen Hunt and Bill Paxton are in like the middle of the level 5 tornado, and they like strap themselves to that pipe that runs underground, and they're kind of like hanging out in the middle, and like tornado sweeps them up off their feet. I'm like, okay, we're in the middle of a tornado, and they're like, how do I simulate that? And I'm like, just do a handstand or something. And I'm like, I tie a jump rope to my mom's Stairmaster, and I just like kick my legs up in the air repeatedly to try to be like, it's sucking me up. And so like that's how I played. So needless to say, I was really popular and had a lot of friends. Yeah, so like it was all working up to applying to NYU Film School, but when it actually came time to apply, I kind of chickened out. And I went into cinema studies, which is film theory. And it's basically you sit and you listen to a teacher talk for 4 hours about one shot in a movie, and about how like the color of the protagonist's car means that he's confused about his sexuality. So I got kind of tired of that after a year, but I was still like, I was too afraid because I felt like I didn't have anything really to put in. I was like, I don't have the resources. But I felt like it was kind of an excuse, I realized, and my dad was like, just submit something. So I took this old high school video that I shot for like a class, and I was like, all right, I'm going to polish it up, maybe do some reshoots, and like, they'll see something in it, and I started thinking of like the kind of compliments they could give it, like nice editing, like I like the pacing. So I submitted it. And I waited a couple months, and one day before I was about to go into class, my mom called me, and she's like, you got a letter, and it looks like it's undergraduate, admissions, it looks like it's for this. And I was like, okay, open it. And she opened it, and it was rejection. And I was very upset. I did not go to class. Instead, I walked to Central Park, and I sat on this rock that overlooks the ice skating rink. I don't know if anyone knows Woolman Rink, there's a rock, and it's like beautiful panoramic views. And I just sat there and I cried because I also thought my life was a movie. And I was like, this is the part where everyone's sad. So I put some Coldplay in my iPod because that's the saddest music I had at the time. And I sat on that rock and I cried. And then took some time to get over it, and after a while, I watched that movie back. I was like, you know what, I'm just going to watch it, I'm going to see, like, what did I do wrong? I did everything wrong. I was like, what was I smoking when I submitted this to NYU Film School? Because while these other kids were submitting, like, documentaries they made while in Uganda, and I submitted a Matrix-style spy movie. And so, I'll paint a picture for you. I had my older sister who's like this law student. She's really funny, but at the same time she's really reserved. So there are certain things she just won't do. And I made her dress up in like full-on Matrix gear, and I did the same myself. And she meets, in the opening scene is she meets me in an alleyway, and I'm like her contact, and I give her, I'm like, go to the library. In this book you will find a disc. You have to watch this disc. And like, and so she gets the disc, and then she goes back, and there's an extended fight scene that did not make it into the actual cut of the movie, but for the NYU film admissions people, I included deleted scenes and a blooper reel. I was like, maybe. I was like, you know, they'll enjoy it. Like, they like humor, like wink, wink. And I don't think they appreciated that. But there was also an alternate ending. I just had a full special. I wanted to have a car chase, but my dad was like, no. Yeah, but once I watched that back, I was like, you know what? I totally get why I was not admitted. And I think that was like a gift to fail so badly. Because it's like to know like that I did everything wrong and know that like I can do so much better than that. And that, you know, like, I don't know, it was a silly movie. But it was a learning experience. And right after that I was like, you know what? I know what I'm going to do. And like I went and I took a class and I shot like some short films and I submitted those and I got in. And I feel like it was good that I did it the first time.